Mike Foster here, and I'm creating this presentation to share my thoughts on how we can win with the upcoming beta launch. Now, as it's been defined to me, our goal for the upcoming launch is to get 4,000 to 6,000 users within 90 days of launching. And that begs the question, what are we considering users? Are users just sign-ups? Are users active after they've signed up? Are users paid subscribers? I think the key metric we really got to focus on here is the rate at which users are returning after they've signed up. Personally, I'd like to see us get 4,000 to 6,000 signups, with 50% of those signups returning. So what were our previous results in this metric? Well, my last report was in mid-July, and at that point in time, we had received a total of 800 signups. 73% of those signups did not return after the first visit, but we had a little more than 1/4 of those signups do return. They did return after their first visit. So why do we have this retention problem? Well, to understand that, we've really got to analyze and understand the composition of what makes a great web application. You see, a great web application is actually pretty complex to build because it has so many different layers. And you can't just get 4 out of the 5 layers, right? You've got to get every single layer correct, otherwise you don't have a good application. Now, in our previous efforts, we've mostly been focusing on user experience and functionality. We had the version 1 of the site, which we had several different areas. We had areas for stories, and areas for photos, and areas for people. And then in version 2 of the application, we tried to combine a lot of those areas together in something called a moment, and then show those moments on a timeline. Version 3, we extended that concept by adding a lot of social features to it, really focusing on inviting and sharing and privacy. And then in our upcoming beta release, we are sort of scaling back the complexity, trying to make it more simple and focusing on the original vision of storytelling. Now, I think our key retention problem here has mainly been on this layer, this interaction design layer. That's what I want to talk about today. So what exactly is interaction design? Well, interaction design is designing the flow of user tasks. In an opening session, for example, we could have a user, they sign up, and then they fill out their profile, they make their first moment, and then they invite a friend. That could be a very simple interaction model. So how is our interaction model broken? Well, first off, we're trying to accomplish a really ambitious goal. We want people to build out their life legacy. But what exactly is a life legacy? And I think our first problem here is we didn't define the scope very well. How big is your life legacy? How big is that? What exactly does that contain? Where does it end? Where does it begin? One of the good examples that I really latched onto early on in my competitor review process was Ancestry.com. They've got a really successful subscription business, and they've got a really clear visual metaphor. You have this space, which is your family tree, and it's very straightforward that you're filling out your family tree, and that's what you're trying to accomplish when using Ancestry. Similarly, Cityville, which is the most popular application on Facebook, which gained 90 million users in the first 40 days, has another very clear concept of scope and space. You have the space is your city limits, and in this case you're trying to fill your city limits by building your city out. In both cases, they define a very clear space for the user to fill, and the space acts as a creation zone, a place to view completed creations, and it also provides a way to passively measure the user's completion towards the overarching goal. Now, in our second video that I'm going to go into the next part, so stick around for part 2 of this presentation.